Hello and welcome to the Jacksonville History Show. I'm Emily Rutherford-Liska. I'm Executive Director of the Jacksonville Historical Society. This is the show where we educate, entertain, and talk about all aspects of city history and preservation. And it's one of my favorite shows of the year because we can look back at the year, we can look at what's been accomplished in the area of history education and preservation, and reflect on some major award winners in our city in that regard. So we're going to talk about that in just a minute, but I want to tell you at the end of the show you'll see our regular feature, and our regular feature involves the Jacksonville Historical Society President Jerry Spinks, and he'll be here to talk about the good and the bad with historic preservation in Jacksonville, Florida. But first I want to introduce Lisa Shepard. Lisa, hello.
Hi.
Lisa is the Senior Historic Planner in the city's Planning and Development Department in their Historic Preservation offices.
Yes.
And in that regard, every year you, on behalf of the city's Historic Preservation Commission, this group of people who volunteer, give their time to ensure that that the city is carefully watched when it comes to our historic buildings and properties. You, as their staff member, stage this wonderful award ceremony, and also on behalf of the city of Jacksonville, where you applaud and recognize the individuals and the organizations and the companies who've all stepped up to the plate and done something to make this city better when it comes to our history or preserving that history. Wow. You want to add a little bit to that about this ceremony and what you do?
Well, the annual Preservation Awards that we put on is done during the month of May for Preservation Month, which is a nationwide activity, and different municipalities do different things, and we've chosen the awards. And it's been going on for 11 consecutive years, and I think there were 2 to 3 years before that, before I came along. But we've been doing it as an annual event for the last 11, and it's an exciting program, and we enjoy doing it.
Well, I know the awards, we're going to kind of go through them all.
Yes.
And we're going to start with one that is rather poignant, and it involves a former director of the Planning and Development Department, lost to us, Jeannie Fuel, known to so many. So if you'll start and tell us a little bit about remembering Jeannie.
Sure. I've brought our PowerPoint presentation from the night of the awards, and the last few years we've had a memorial tribute to honor people that had made contributions to history and preservation. And Jeannie was with the department. She came on in 1996, and she's known for a lot of different planning activities. And a lot of people don't understand that she did a lot when it came to historic preservation as well, specifically with the Springfield neighborhood. She developed and coordinated the Springfield home auction in 1998 that basically helped with a lot of vacant and condemned properties, bringing them in contact with new homeowners. And that was followed by a SHARP program, or the Springfield Historic Acquisition and Rehab Program. This was a very successful program, assisted scores of individuals and families to buy and restore historic homes. That was followed by a Springfield Appearance and Facade Grant Program that helped existing homeowners, particularly low-income residents and those with a fixed income, to visually or to improve the visual appearance and safety of their home. And then there was a zoning overlay established in 2000 that also helped. And beyond Springfield, she was also instrumental in getting the Riverside-Avondale Historic District designated, because that can be quite controversial, and she helped us through that process.
She really was a planner par excellence, and she is so missed, so very missed.
Yeah, her background was history, and she definitely did her part here when she was in Jacksonville.
Remembering Jeannie Fuel, albeit not in the way we'd like today, but recognizing all she did for the city of Jacksonville and for historic preservation.
Moving on, we have our Heritage Education publication, and this year we added film to that title.
And I'm thrilled about that, very selfishly.
Right. One of the awards this year went to the Kiss of Life, the 40th anniversary.
It was a film, that's right.
And basically this kind of documented this important event that happened here in Jacksonville, where you basically had a photographer that was on assignment and stopped
Rocco
back.
Morabito, that's right.
Thank you. And he stopped by an electrical project that was going on, and happened on this heroic scene of a lineman going up to help a fellow lineman who had been electrocuted while he was up there, and saved him through CPR. And he called for help, obviously, and but also managed to take some of these shots that basically they stopped the paper, as I understand it, to
hold the presses. One of those moments in Jacksonville.
And this is one of the copies from the paper on the upper part of the screen, and the picture in the left corner went on to win the Pulitzer Prize.
It did win the Pulitzer Prize. So Jacksonville Historical Society, Rocco Morabito, and we just lost him within recent times. So luckily the Jacksonville Historical Society created this film, PRC Digital Media. They won an award. Bill Rutherford won an award for this magnificent film, remembering just a star of photography of Jacksonville's history, Rocco Morabito.
Yes, it had a number of interviews, and thankfully it was done when it was, because we wouldn't have been able to do those today.
And thank you for that award. We appreciate it.
It was a fun one. The next category we have, or award rather, is for a book. It was never about a hot dog and a Coke, and that's subtitled A Personal Account of the 1960 Sit-In Demonstrations in Jacksonville, Florida, and the Axe Handle Saturday, which chronicles the racial and political climate of Jacksonville, Florida in the late 50s, the events preceding to that infamous day of Axe Handle Saturday, the bloody events of that afternoon and the aftermath. And one of the reviews was that I thought was interesting said that it was a captivating history lesson, whether you were there, only heard the stories, or as in the case with so many people today, know next to nothing about the violent years of the civil rights struggle. And this book has gone on to win a number of awards, most recently the Stetson Kennedy Award. And
just at the Florida Historical Society meeting, which was held at the same time. And we've had Rodney in your very chair talking about his book. His stories really are riveting in regard to the civil rights movement in Jacksonville, and he was a young man, a youth involved in that movement, and this book certainly brings it alive.
The next is also for a book, The First Hollywood, and this was it's basically a book about Florida and the golden age of silent filmmaking, and how Jacksonville was actually the first place, our first Hollywood, I guess. And he kind of touches on all the aspects of the silent film era and how that was in Jacksonville. And he mentions that
Sean Bean,
that some of the things that were going on in Jacksonville, some of the history and climate, social climate, kind of added to the filmmakers at the time. It was their inspiration, I guess, at times as far as things go. And obviously, we've actually got another award later on in the program for the Norman Film Studio. I highlighted that as well.
Was Sean able to make it to the award ceremony?
Yes, he was.
That's marvelous. He's an out-of-town author who took a great interest in this exciting era in Jacksonville history, the silent film era, when indeed more movies were being made here than in Hollywood. So this book has really gotten interest all over the nation, so a wonderful award. And next you're going to talk about a whole educational forum that involved film and panels and everything, and this was the Bold New Revolution commemorating 40 years of consolidated government. It was a program presented by numerous people, so I'll let you go with that.
Yes, it was put on by the library, and basically I didn't realize this, but they have held similar events every year in the month of October, or the last 3 years, I believe. But this was the 40th anniversary, so we felt that that was particularly important.
Of consolidation.
And it included a panel of speakers that kind of went over basically what's happened or since the 40 years, during the 40 years since it has been put in place. And there was also a screening of The Government by Gaslight, which first aired in 1966 to help educate and convince viewers of the benefits of having the city consolidated. And there was also a photographic exhibit that showed highlighted photos from actual Consolidation Day.
And there you see in the bottom corner, they're burying the time capsule, and that actually was unearthed in the year 2000. They're burying it, but in the year 2000 when it was unearthed, the contents were given to the Jacksonville Historical Society. It was quite a murky mess. You see it had been buried underground. We were able to save a few of the items in it, yes.
There were a number of people involved with that, including your very own Harry Reagan, Norm Davis, Dr. Jim Cooks, who helped with the panel, the Jacksonville Public Library, the Historical Society, of course, the Florida Humanities Council, and the Jacksonville Regional Chamber of Commerce also contributed.